So we're coming to a close. Sad, I know you're all sad. We have one last performance from Iona. But before she comes up and performs to us, I just want to let you know that the poets from earlier are still going to be around. So please stick around afterwards. Get them to sign your school diaries, your textbooks, whatever you guys use. And also, for those who filled out the short survey earlier, we've got a little goodie bag for you, so you can come and collect it over here. Those people are Nick Ellsworth, Georgina Brooke, Caitlin Van Standen, Sagita Pilinkenny, and Lauren Cole. So please come over afterwards. But yes, can we give another warm welcome back to the stage for Iona Mandal, who's going to be performing and reading some of her beautiful poetry for us.
Hi again, everyone. It's great to be back up on this stage, except this time I'm performing a selection of my poetry. The first poem that I'm going to perform is written from personal experience of a holiday to India a few years ago, when my grandparents took me to the India-Bangladesh border. A lot of my mum's family is from Bangladesh, so it was a really touching experience to be standing at that physical rift between two nations, both of which I'm connected to in different ways. So this is Quiet Flows the River. I stand at the border of two time zones, a river separating two nations, half an hour lost in the gap of time. The river flows quiet as if to console, bathing in its waters an enmeshed culture, a language submerged in tears. Ripples pattern the water between water hyacinths and lotuses bordering the banks. A fish swims past effortlessly, knowing not where it is from, nor where it goes, but that it is present in this moment. On the other side, I hear the muezzin's call for evening prayer. On this side, the smell of incense diffuses to the sound of blowing conch shells. I pause for a while to listen. Children sit on the cold floor of an old temple courtyard, chanting poetry in rhythmic unison. Their teacher supervises. The sentry stands at a distance under a thatched check post. Rifle in hand, he oversees. Tomorrow is Independence Day. For my second poem, I'll be performing a poem of mine called Homecoming. So as a British Indian, I often find a lot of comfort in diaspora poetry, although I am slightly critical of the style at times for its use of very formulaic metaphors. I do see it as a source of solace. So here is my very own diaspora poem, and this poem meant that I was chosen as a Foyle Young Poet in 2020. It's inspired by my late great-grandmother, who I was very close to. So this is Homecoming. Draped in sun-dried cotton sari, Ma spreads turmeric paste on my acne scars. The heat and sultriness making it crack in flaxen grains on the cold, tiled floor. Twiddling a cotton ball soaked in hibiscus red alta between index finger and thumb, she adorns in curlicues the soles of my feet in neat masterstrokes. Thereafter, a crash course on Bengali customs. Remember the pranam, do touch her feet, and we get ready for Grandma's home. The hinges to the garden gate screech to welcome us in homecoming. It has been 3 years since last oiled. Ma ushers me to Grandma's room. I expect a family heirloom of some sorts to unfold. Sweetmeats or spicy mango pickle in oil, left lined in glass jars on the terrace to dry in the midday sun. Or perhaps an old trunk, photographs and books opening floodgates of stories untold. It is dark here. A monastic silence pervades. My pupils adjust to the gloom. The street peddler's chant seems distant here, and rickshaw honks certainly not as loud. Grandma looks up, smiles vaguely, conceivably in recognition, tries in futile attempts to edge the stainless steel glass of lemon juice towards me, as if to wash the barriers that bind us. She is paralyzed and bedridden 13 years now. I sip the juice, hold her cellophane hand in mine, nails charred, fingers wrinkled from centenarian grime. Old memories line her parched skin, carrying tales from the crevices. Queen Victoria, Dhaka, riots, the partition. Do steamboats ply on the Buriganga River? She suddenly asks. I listen. The sourness from lemon ferments in my mouth. I'm not sure what to say. So much has elapsed. Feeble voice now raised in command, she looks to the metal grill window. Kill those soldiers, they looted us. I gently shove the red ants aside. She calms. I watch her eyes roll back like in a trance. At times I feel Grandma records everything, family stock-keeping, her responsibility. Spools of uncoiled tapes binding her tighter to bed, her stale recording studio. And now we replace chocolates with chewable vitamin orbs, Staffordshire pottery for a feather-light bedpan, more donations than gifts for a happy housemaid. Our suitcases grow lighter with every year that slips by. Bags unzip to the stench of expiry, yet bringing much more to all than we leave back home. My third and penultimate poem is called At the Museum. And I thought about how we often uphold museums for representing so many cultures, but we often forget the centuries of pillage and oppression they represent, which is an issue that's frequently overlooked and rarely addressed. So my poem speaks for museums across the world, housing artifacts uprooted from their lands, depriving nations the pride they rightfully deserve. So here's At the Museum. I dwell within the chambers of a euphemism, an almost palindrome, 6-lettered warehouse of plunder. The only somewhat native artifact, the blood-stained soil of an unholy civilization, all of which came in time out of 1,000,000 human thoughts, each automatic door almost as if a gust of ancient wind passing through the glass, a threshold to revelation of sugar-coated pillage from splendid lands, showing the world within a few ephemeral hours. Rocks as old as the universe, chipped frescoes and re-varnished vases, rows of porcelain and bronze figurines now embalmed in single treasure rooms, masking the grit and grime of rapine. I question at times the misrepresentation denoted within false acceptance, stolen heritage replacing bare lands built from oppression, memories of human thoughts trapped in each footfall in rooms of the past, the enormity making one forget of all that it is worth. The echoes of an infantile rhyme may leave your lips with disgrace. Finders keepers, losers weepers. To which we retort, weep as you lose the pillars that uphold your nation. Weep as the marble gives way to weathering, because nothing, or almost nothing, really ever belonged here in the first place. To them, to you, or to anything at all. For my final poem, I wanted to end on a more hopeful note. So this is my take on the young tennis player Emma Raducanu, who is the first British woman to win a Grand Slam singles title at Wimbledon since the 70s. She's a youth icon for many as a victim of discrimination herself, especially following her controversy surrounding her difficulty in breathing during Wimbledon. So this is Dear Emma Raducanu. Dear Emma, I like the way your smile always matches the beaming trajectory of that tennis ball as the world watches you. Power-packed in an outburst of hormones, alert and assertive as I watch your amazing grace under the radar. The bounce in your step as you push another boundary, step across another line etched by the myopic predecessors of our times. You prove what I believe in and know, that DNA will never account for the span of anything, wingspan, lifespan, or the span of success destined for people like us. For you rekindle the darkest, coldest nooks with a beacon of hope. So many new mothers will tell your story, and so many others weave more. Your medals can never equate to the gold that rests in your spirit, because the breaths you once struggled to take have been surpassed by the gasps of the crowd. Think about it, Emma Raducanu. Thank you.